Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel, MeteoMark's Weather Tropical Edition. Thanks for joining me and sticking with me here. Take a look at this. We have a massive 20% area out here in the main development region of the Atlantic. It's associated with a massive system that is currently coming off the coast of Africa, south of the Cape Verdes. What is exactly going to happen with this system? Is this going to be our next named storm? And what does the European and GFS show this storm happening? Where is it going? We'll take a look at that and more, as well as your Southern Caribbean system here. Does this system still have a chance to develop? We'll get into all that and more in this edition of MeteoMark's Tropical Edition. So as we take a look at the Atlantic here, let's put this into motion. There's our big tropical wave by the 17th here Saturday, showing on the GFS this thing really starting to develop here. Look at this. It's looking pretty cylindrical. So does this mean that we might actually have a named storm by this weekend? I actually think by the 18th, we could actually be looking at our second named storm in the Atlantic. So take a look at this. This continues towards the west, towards the 22nd. I'm going to show you on the European model, however, once it starts approaching the Lesser Antilles, there is going to be some dry air concerns as this system starts to, continue towards the Lesser Antilles. You start to notice that the shower and thunderstorm activity is confined mainly to the eastern portion of this storm. All right, so you can see this system just northeast here of the northern Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands here. And yes, it does look like this system will hold together. So this is something, and look at this, just north of San Juan, Puerto Rico. This is where this system could get re-energized again. And I'm going to momentarily, I'll be showing you the sea surface temperature models as well as the European model. So please take a look at this as we continue towards the west here. This system is going to be heading into an area of drier air. So, here's the last frame. This is interesting. This run is actually blowing the system up into a hurricane. So we're going to have to really keep an eye on this system. As I said before, there is a lot of dry air up in this region from the eastern Bahamas up towards Bermuda. And taking a look at the last couple frames here, you can see what looks like a hurricane here continuing to spin just north of the island of Hispaniola. You can start to see that evidence of dry air on the northwest side becoming a little bit more lopsided here. I want to caution you, though, this is 246 hours out, so a lot can change with this system, but it does have the potential to become our next named storm, and could I say potentially our first hurricane of the season? We'll have to watch it here. And as we take a look at our Southern Caribbean system as we head throughout the 17th and the 18th, yeah, the National Hurricane Center does not have this on their radar. However, it is a very persistent area of showers and thunderstorms. It's going to bring some beneficial rains here to Central America, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands. Take a look at this. Yeah, that's quite a bit of rain as we head throughout the weekend into early next week. There's the 19th. And then as we get into the 20th, look at the Cayman Islands really getting pummeled with rain here. I'll actually go over rainfall amounts with you here because this will be a concern, but it will also be pretty beneficial for you as well and keep the temperatures down a bit. Now you see the system off the southeast coast. This moisture could eventually feed into that. Look at there's the 21st and the 22nd. You see this east coast storm? It looks like this tropical moisture is going to be funneled right into this big old area of low pressure along the east coast. And that's a lot of moisture. So whatever happens with the system, whether it does develop or not, it's definitely going to affect the weather here along the east coast. And this could bring some big time tropical rains all the way up the east coast. So if we take a look at the European run here, take a look at this. So our system starts to really show up, both of our systems for that matter. Here we go. This is Saturday, June 17th. There it is in the Caribbean and off the Cape Verde Islands here. So yeah, as we go into motion, the European model does blow this up as well. It does look a little bit further to the south here. Here's the Lesser Antilles. There's our big area of high pressure. That's going to be steering this system towards the west-northwest. And there's our Caribbean system, not outlined yet by the National Hurricane Center. So far, it's just going to be some beneficial rain to Central America. But here's our system starting to look a bit healthier here by Tuesday, June 20th. So look at this as we continue to go in motion towards the 21st and then towards the 22nd. It starts to approach approach the northern and central Lesser Antilles here on the Euro. So the Euro start blowing this up as well. There is pretty good agreement here between the European model and the GFS model for that matter. There's that area of high pressure along the U.S. East Coast. Look at this moisture from our Western Caribbean system funneling northward here. So what's going to happen with this as we go in time is both systems here, the first system here in the Caribbean, kind of looks like it's washing out here on the Euro and becoming part of the East Coast system. There's our system there into the northern Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, and eventually Puerto Rico. Now let's take a look at what could be the fly in the ointment here, dry air. So taking a look at the dry air, of course you can see the darkest browns and oranges. This is denoted by the driest air in the mid layers of the atmosphere. The green is the moist areas where you're going to see the tropical downpours and the best chance for development. Now look as we head towards the weekend into next week. You can see our area here across the main development region of the Atlantic, just southwest of the Cape Verde Islands by this point. Probably likely a named storm by later in the weekend here. Here's our Caribbean system. Now you notice the massive dry air here over northern Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. And massive dry air from the Lesser Antilles all the way up here towards the Azores. Will this be a problem for these systems? So as we go in time here, that big old dry high to the north, yes, there is going to be some dry air problems as well as our Caribbean system. And this could actually be why our Caribbean system isn't going to get off the ground anytime soon. It is surrounded by dry air. Now, our system out here in the main development region, it is keeping itself free from dry air. It's not sucking any of it in yet. But look at as we head towards the Lesser Antilles here, the concern for this system maybe leveling off in intensity and not developing any further would be the dry air on the western side. You can start to see it really starts to get closer to the center of circulation. It does start to overcome that a little bit. You can see our system here in the Caribbean washing out and becoming part of the East Coast system on the European run. But look at this massive dry air layer in the mid layers coming down from Bermuda. That is the problem for this system. Once it gets past Puerto Rico, yes, it could strengthen to a minimal hurricane. But the problem with it is once it reaches just east of the Bahamas here, north of Hispaniola, this dry air really starts to wrap around this system. Now, we have plenty of time to watch it. Look how many hours out this system is. It is essentially 240 hours out. So this whole scenario, the positioning of the dry air could change. And if you want to see surface temperature anomalies, they are just insane here through the main development region of the Atlantic. This is insane amounts. 2+, up to 3, almost close to 5 here just north of the Cape Verde Islands heading out into the central Atlantic. This is crazy. And look at this in the Caribbean, all the way through the Gulf as well. You're talking about significant sea surface temperatures. So a lot of this might actually help overcome some of the dry air and wind shear as we go forward. Still, that's going to be a big battle, a big uphill battle. All right, so GFS model here for rainfall into parts of the Caribbean, or all the Caribbean for that matter. Yeah, it's actually a bit further to the east. I'll show you the European model momentarily here, but into next week, take a look at this. This is a tremendous amount of rainfall feeding up into the Cayman Islands. We could be 100 to 200 millimeters of rainfall. Look at Jamaica here. Yeah, we could actually be approaching rainfall in excess of 90, 100, maybe 110 millimeters. Look at over here towards Belize. I know many of you have said you need rain in Belize. It's looking like maybe the East Coast, upwards of 40 to 60 millimeters, but not much inland. Areas here in Central America, definitely close to 200 millimeters. And as we take a look at the European run here all the way through next week, you can see, yeah, the European run has this storm moving much slower. Cayman Islands barely getting 30 to 40, maybe 50 millimeters of rain. Jamaica closer to 40 to 60 millimeters of rain, but the lion's share of the rain on the European model staying towards Central America. Look at even towards Belize. You're actually getting excess of 40, 60 plus millimeters of rainfall. All right, so taking a look into Thursday night and Friday, yeah, there's going to be some thunder shower activity up towards Cleveland, parts of Mansfield, Columbus, Ohio. As we stream down towards the south, you know, the severe weather threat moves into parts of the Panhandle of Florida, into northern Florida, and then heading towards Orlando. And look at this, our tornadic problem shifts to the east, especially southeast of Oklahoma City. just north of Dallas. Please watch out, heed those tornado watches and warnings. And as we continue in time, you can see as we head throughout the early morning hours, this shower and thunderstorm activity pivots to western Pennsylvania, western New York. Still some showers, residual showers and thunder showers here in Cleveland. As we head towards the southeast, there's that rain thunderstorm line heading towards just north of Orlando. And there's our big complex heading towards the Gulf Coast as we head throughout the early morning hours of Friday here. So take a look at this. You know, we moved this into motion, and you can see this thunderstorm complex re-energizes as it reaches the panhandle of Florida. You just can't catch a break here. Look at all this tropical moisture off the southeast coast here, and look at here into the northeast. This is where we're going to start to see the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms as we head. This is noon on Friday, so the 16th here. Take a look at this. So, yeah, we're going to be dealing with the potential for some severe. Yeah, I'm worried there could be damaging wind, large hail, frequent lightning, isolated tornado potential here, especially into this area. So please heed the watch. There's definitely going to be some watches. A squall line to the west here forming along this low pressure trough here. Look at this. You know, as we get towards 2 p.m., yeah, this is where things really get cranking. So, yeah, in upstate New York and Pennsylvania, you're going to be dealing with scattered showers and thunder showers here. But look at just south of you here. This is where the problem is going to be. You're going to get a couple lines here. The main line back just east of Harrisburg by this point. But look at here into central parts of New Jersey, down through Delmarva. This is a big concern. As we head into the southeast, it's kind of conglomerating over Florida, and you see it's getting a little quiet back towards the plains, but let's just continue in time here, see what we got going on. So this moves off the coast. We still see some showers and thunderstorms continuing back across New York and Pennsylvania, just west of the I-81 corridor. Some showers and thunderstorms across the Hudson Valley, Catskills, and into northern New England as well. So, yeah, this is where things get cranking here into the plains. You see our next thunderstorm complex forming. These are kind of weakening here across Florida. They're big gully washers by this point. Still could eke out a isolated severe at this point, but, you know, it's not going to be anything to write home about. As we continue to move this through here, you can see into the northeast, the strongest storms are offshore, but still, we could have some energized thunderstorms around the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area. Maybe some thunder showers, rumbles of thunder up towards Binghamton as we get towards 8 p.m. So it's going to be a stormy day here across the northeast. You know, we're taking a little bit of a lull here into the plains until you get up towards Kansas here. Take a look at that. Might have some isolated severe starting to fire by this point late in the evening as we get into the overnight hours. Here into the northeast, we're going to continue with showers and thunder showers likely overnight Friday night. And the next thunderstorm complex forming across parts of Mississippi. You can see it kind of taking hold here. Showers and thunderstorms continuing across central Florida. And as we continue through our last couple of frames here, let's take a look. There's that area of low pressure that's going to be hanging out across the northeast. And you can see it kind of filling in. It's starting to look like a nor'easter. And just on the backside is where I'm really concerned about that smoke coming down from Quebec, which I'll show you momentarily. Now, look at the thunderstorm action here along the Gulf Coast. It is going to be a very stormy weekend. Look at this, just east of New Orleans, Panhandle of Florida, Central Florida, Southern Florida. Yeah, it's not looking good. And here into the northeast, especially east of the I-81 corridor, you're going to continue with these showers and thunderstorms. So as we take a look at the height anomalies here, that East Coast trough is just going to continue most of next week. I am concerned about the smoke. I'll show you momentarily why that could be a factor going into the weekend into next week. But look at this as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, the 22nd. A ridge tries to start taking over the eastern part of the country. We still have this slight trough. You can see it here into the southeast with our cutoff system. I have more weather for you momentarily, but here's a quick word from my new affiliate. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than trilogymaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. So if we take a look at the smoke, yes, this is what you've wanted. Let's go with the latest run we got here. So here it is. The fires are burning here across, let's back that up. You can see them across mainly Quebec up here. And this takes us through, this is just after sunrise Friday. So this is a bit concerning. You know, we're going to have a low pressure system moving through the Ohio Valley into the northeast, and then it's going to kind of try to go around and around coastal, so to speak. It's going to bring a northerly wind down from Canada, and it's going to pull some of this smoke down. Now, let's see how much smoke actually can funnel here into the northeast, and I'll zoom in momentarily. This is my concern here. We're getting towards Saturday. This is early afternoon, so let's zoom in. You can see the smoke coming all the way down south here, but the big concentration I'm concerned about across New York and Pennsylvania. So here we go. We go through Friday. You're looking fine. St. Lawrence Valley, though, you know, if you start to get midday Friday, things are going to become a bit really bad here. So then we get another surge. This is early Saturday morning. Now, look what starts to happen here. That northerly wind, the I-81 corridor, and just to the west of it here from Syracuse, Binghamton, Scranton, Oswego. Look at the concentrations here. This could be pretty bad. This is a bad way, you know, to start your weekend here. And this is going to continue to pinwheel south. I'm a bit concerned that we're going to need air quality alerts again across upstate New York, north central New York, into eastern Pennsylvania here. So keep that in mind. I'll keep you posted on this smoke plume. So the European model, let's take a look here as we go forward. Yeah, that severe weather continues across the south. Just tremendous amounts of severe weather continuing overnight into Friday for much of Oklahoma, Texas, down through the Florida Panhandle here, the Gulf Coast states. There's our next system for Friday that's going to be bringing that wet weather to the northeast. You see from Cleveland up to Buffalo, Binghamton, Harrisburg area. So we're dealing with a lot of rain here across the eastern part of the country. Two big trouble areas here. And look at this, plenty of tropical moisture off the U.S. East Coast. We're going to continue to watch this. This low actually retrogrades down to the south here. Bringing with it moisture continuing, unfortunately, for the first part of your weekend. Big-time storms continuing down south and in the west central plains as well. But look at this low. It's actually dancing around the northeast. And as I said before, I'm a little bit worried that these northerly winds, as this low pressure comes back up, is going to help bring that smoke from the wildfires from the mid to latter portion of the weekend back into New York and Pennsylvania. Look what's happening down here across South Florida as well. You got some big-time tropical downpours coming in from the southeast here. Here is another severe weather outbreak occurring across much of the central and southern plains here. So this is going to continue to cause major problems. And look at this. We just continue to pinwheel these big-time thunderstorms, severe weather, tornado outbreaks towards the Gulf of Mexico. Now, if you want to take a look here into the northeast, this low is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's kind of stuck up here and it's blocked, so to speak. It may actually continue to bring showers all the way back towards the I-81 corridor of New York, Pennsylvania. So please, just, you know, if you have any outdoor plans, don't cancel them all. But it's not going to be like down south here. Look at this. We're going to be dealing with another severe weather complex, nocturnal into Sunday night into early Monday morning. And that just explodes here onto the state of Georgia. Now, things really start to look a little quieter here as high pressure builds into parts of the Rocky Mountains. But let's take a look. Yeah, here we go again, late Monday into Tuesday. This is where we're going to be seeing some tremendous severe weather again. Look at this, though, up here into Western Canada. I wanted to point this out. Some mountain snow and a big-time low-pressure system. This might actually put a dent in your wildfire problem up here into Western Canada. Unfortunately, Eastern Canada, you're continuing to be dominated by high pressure. And look at this. This is going to pump some tropical moisture down into the Gulf Coast states and the southeast, parts of the Carolinas as well. And it's going to get stuck here. Essentially, what you got is, it almost looks like a wintertime pattern where you have high pressure to the north and you get these coastal systems, lots of tropical moisture just feeding in to the southern states here, and that's what's going to continue. It will hold your temperatures down slightly as well as this rain just focuses. And look at this. This just looks like May to me. These big-time thunderstorm complexes that continue to pinwheel out of the plains here. And look at this, the northern plains getting in on the act as well. So, yeah, you're going to start to see some showers spreading across the east. This is towards June 24th here Saturday. So, yeah, it's plenty of tropical moisture. This looks like the middle of summer now as Bermuda high sets up just over Bermuda or east of Bermuda here. It's going to funnel some tremendous tropical moisture northward here. Look at that. And then we're dealing with severe weather complexes continuing across the plains. So if we take a look at total liquid equivalent precipitation here, look at this. So we're actually going, let's just take it through the, Father's Day here. Here we go. So this is a good time period to look at this. So this is going to be located with the severe weather anywhere from 2, 3, maybe 4 inches there into the yellow sections, the darker yellows. That is looking like a tremendous amount of rain here into New England as well. This is actually going to be beneficial rain. I'll zoom in momentarily. And look at this. You're seeing a general half. It's a 3/4 of an inch back through the Ohio Valley into parts of the Northeast. And look at this into the Northeast. Let's take it through Friday into early Saturday. These are your precipitation totals. Anywhere from a half to 3/4 of an inch around Cleveland. A little bit more to the south and to the east towards an inch into some of these purple areas. Look at New York City and New Jersey. We're getting up towards an 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. So that's some beneficial rains. Here in the Susquehanna Valley, you're picking up anywhere from around a 1/2 inch on average. Now, let's look at this as we continue on into Sunday and into Monday. Look at this and then into next week. Yeah, not too much next week, but look at this. Yeah, the latter part of the weekend, we're racking up the totals here, close to 2, maybe as much as 3 inch plus in some of these locations into western New England. So watch out for that. And as we take a look at the southeast here through Father's Day, look at this. There's the big bullseye over towards Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. There towards the panhandle of Florida as well. And look at as we continue into next week, that's where we're going to focus the tropical moisture across South Carolina and western North Carolina. Look at this. This is, let's get that off there. That is looking crazy. Yeah. There's the panhandle of Florida as well. You're going to be getting a lot of tropical moisture feeding into the southeast next week. And here we go. Derek Rentschler from Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. Thunderstorm on June 12th. Take a look at this. It prompted a tornado warning for York County, Pennsylvania. Take a look at that. You can see, yeah, it does look like the storm was pretty formidable here, tracking across his area. Looks like it definitely deserved that tornado warning there, being how ominous it looks there in the background. Wow, that's a nice capture there, Derek. We haven't seen a lot of severe weather yet this season, but there it is, June 12th. And here we go, John sending in his photo, a tornado near Brookhaven, Mississippi here this past, look at this, June 14th. So yeah, this past Wednesday, cruising down the road here. Look at that major inclement weather off in the distance. Tornado near Brookhaven, Mississippi. Nice captures there in your travels, John. So I wanted to show you the Western Pacific here. Let's take a look at what's going on. So yeah, we have the westerlies here off the coast of China and the Philippines looking pretty clear at the moment. But let's put this into motion the 18th, the 19th, as we head throughout the weekend, 20th early next week. You get some shower and thunderstorm action here across the southern Philippines. Yeah, this intertropical convergence zone's really going to be ramping up. Now, continue to watch just east of the Philippines here because there is an area of concern as we head towards the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. You see this area just east of the Philippines? This is really starting to blow up, and it's showing up here on our model. So look at this. This is just east of the central Philippines. Very concerning that it's not very far off. Now, it's more than a week, so we have plenty of time to watch this. But look at this. This thing could actually become a named storm and potentially a typhoon as it approaches the northern Philippines. Of course, by this point, we could be looking at a significant margin of error. So if this does develop, it could be, anywhere, in this region. So that is a very large area, so please stay tuned. There are more systems behind it that we definitely want to watch. Things are going to start getting more active here into the Western Pacific. All right, so temperatures here across the country. We got a little cool snap here into parts of the Ohio Valley, Northeast 60s. Look at that, Cleveland all the way up to Syracuse. Massive warmth building across the midsection of the country as we head towards the weekend Saturday, that warming trend continues. Those heat advisories are in effect. That's going to be heading north. A little bit warmer up here, upper 60s, lower 70s into the northeast. Still lots of clouds and rain with that coastal system. Look at the center of the country, hot as a firecracker. This massive heat wave continuing to expand east here into Monday as well. Look at the 80s getting into the Ohio Valley, 80 in Cleveland, heading all the way to the 80s in Binghamton, and still holding into the 60s here into eastern New England. But look at Texas, mid-triple digits here continuing. This heat just continues to build. Still pretty temperate here from the Carolinas with the clouds and the rain all the way up into the northeast, upper 70s. The ruling supreme here essentially. And we continue to keep this massive broken record of this ridge trough. You can see exactly where it is. Extended outlook from hometown viewers. Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Yes, Friday we're going to see showers and thunderstorms likely. It will be in mostly all-day event up to 70 degrees. A little cool, but look at this Saturday. It will be showers and thunderstorms in the morning, continuing into the early afternoon, but, the clouds will be burning off. We'll see some mostly sunny skies later in the day. 74, slowly clearing up into Sunday. There is a chance of a late day shower, 79. It's only about a 20 to 30% chance, though. Look at this. Monday, it's going to feel hot as a firecracker, 86 degrees, more summer-like on the backside of that high-pressure system into Tuesday. A chance of showers, 82 degrees. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Take a look at the links down below. I have my affiliate link for Trilogy maps, so if you want to get some of those, I do make a commission off those. I just wanted to disclose that, but go ahead and use the code MeteoMark to save 20%. Also, visit my Hurricane 2023 Outlook if you haven't already. Link at the end of this video and description down below. Don't forget Facebook MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern for my tropical page, and MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com, Twitter @WeatherEastern. Thank you for joining me.